Welcome, everyone, to the Minimalism and Automotive Insight series sponsored by Jaspercolin. With over 25 years of experience in automotive design, we are thrilled to have with us today Thomas Prevost.
It's very important to understand that the definition of minimalism will be different if you talk to a North American person, to a European person, to an Asian person. In North America, we base our theme based on line. And so the lines around the car is going to provide the volume, the surface, and the highlights. That in Europe, we design our cars more based upon volume, which will drive the line, the surface, and the highlight. With a small exception in Germany that is very tight on quality of highlights. So highlights in Germany is going to drive some of the volume and some of the lights. When in Asia, it's more based on surfaces. And the surface is going to drive the line, the volume, and the highlights. As you talk in minimalism, you have to understand the differences of culture and the way we actually drive design within exterior styling or interior style. So you have necessarily to put some compromise in the design of a car, and so the concept of minimalism might be taken completely differently if you talk to a North American designer, to a European designer, to an Asian designer, depending to where it's trained and depending to where it works, and depending to who is biased, basically. And I've been working for the past 5 years on AV right and sensor integration and things like this. But simplicity is going to have simplicity in use and simplicity in living into the environment of a vehicle will come when AV is going to become more realistic. Probably going to be somewhere around 2035. Luxury doesn't mean the same thing in Paris that it does in London, that it does in New York. True. It's not the same definition at all. It really depends on the market. It really depends on who you're talking. If you're considering cars that goes to Saudi Arabia being luxurious, they are going to ask for something different than if you go to Shanghai, if you go to New York. Each of the brands are going to treat minimalism in a different manner. Cadillac was more taking simplicity as luxury, when Buick was more taking simplicity as quality. A GMC was more taking simplicity as efficiency. Everybody wants to be the best, but everybody is the best differently. I don't think minimalism impacts the customer. We have, for the past 30, 35 years, 40 years, we have constantly asked for more. Now we are completely overloaded. And so we need simplicity. It's not asking for minimalism, it's asking for simplicity of reading the product.
Right.
Which is two things completely different. I'm saying that we need more simple, in bracket, life, but we need to be very, very, very careful of not being simplest. It's not because we actually make our life simple that we actually make more economy and sense. The requirement of simplicity is also the overload that we have from our economy and our lifestyle. When you write a book, the most difficult thing to do is to do the summary of that book. I think that designer education and even engineering education is not driving us to take those kind of solutions and to take us to the right direction. I think we are a little bit too much left on our own experience in order to understand itself, business or the needs and stuff like this in order to answer the question properly.